a lot of it was with the automotive industry. Some of it was some other businesses. But one of the businesses I did work with was GE Nuclear. So I have some background when it comes to this. And what I don't want to see is a stockpile of nuclear material inside of this mountain. And to give an example to people, to make it simple, is if you have a glass of sand and you dump it out into the wind, it's not going to go very far. But if you have a dump truck full of sand and you dump it out, it's going to go everywhere.
Sure.
And that's what nuclear material is. It's solid particles. So if we're in there recycling it, and if we did, God forbid, if there was a problem there, it would not be as detrimental as if we were stockpiling all of our nuclear waste there.
Well, yeah, but from the very beginning, it was always called, and always has been called, a repository, not a depository. And so it's always been made as a holding place as opposed to a burying place, even though that's not the way the discussion went. Now, you could still oppose it on whatever grounds you want, even as a repository, but like so much, so many other things that we face, the people who control the language of the debate often control the outcome of it. And once, basically the Democrats and a lot of the Republicans in the state decided that this was the third rail of politics, this being Yucca Mountain, then they started using the euphemisms and the colloquialisms that were associated with, bad stuff going on at Yucca Mountain. But essentially what you're saying is we've got to figure out how to get the best and the brightest migrating back into Nevada to help the economy.
And that leads me to another thing that I want to do. I want to take some of our federal funding that's being wasted on other programs, and I want to divert it to UNLV to help increase their research into clean energy. Because, whether you agree that global warming is happening or not happening, I think most of us will agree that the new wave of technology that's coming is going to be alternative energy sources.
Sure.
And why not make Southern Nevada the leading industry of that? We've got plenty of sunshine, plenty of land, and we have the opportunity
and
to
today we have plenty of wind, so if we actually had some wind technology, at least today we'd be generating electricity. Tomorrow, maybe nothing, but today we'd be spinning on the meter right now.
Yeah, you were talking about that before I came in, and I had a sore throat from the wind for the last couple days.
I'm sorry, Steve. The allergies are up. Hey, that reminds me to remind you that it's about 20 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock, and it's about 66 degrees, and it is windy because Steve Nohrden, the candidate for Assembly or for Congressional District Number 3, has a sore throat, and the allergies are there, and we feel for this man. But what we're going to do, Steve, before we let you do your shameless self-promotion, which is part of the requirement of being here on Steve Wark in the Morning, is I just want to go down a list of stuff and find out where you are on it.
Okay.
Because there's folks out there listening, and they've got some hard choices to make.
Right.
There's lots of good people running for office up and down the ballot, but even in Congressional District Number 3, and folks want to know, where are you? Look, the Constitution's been brought up a lot. We have to get back to the Constitution. What does the whole idea of the Constitution mean to you as a person?
The Constitution was created by our forefathers that were truly, in my opinion, looking out for the best of creating a new country. And we've strewn from that. You may be from corruption or what have you. For instance, George Washington, he tried to set a precedent of term limits. And I believe that we should have term limits across the board. Harry Reid has been there for too long, and I believe that when he started out, he was a much different person. So I would like to see term limits in place. And the Constitution should be, we need to stick to it. I think that's our Bible, so to speak.
The Second Amendment, a lot of folks out there, whether they own guns or not, feel the Second Amendment is important. Do you think that the right to bear arms is an all-encompassing right, or do you think it needs to be curtailed?
No, I think it's an important right for Americans to have. And it's kind of funny because Harry Reid supports that too. We were at an event last week, Friends of the NRA, and Harry Reid showed up. And I didn't know this, but I guess the Senate Majority Leader gets Secret Service protection. And I'm just a regular guy. So I sometimes say things, that I maybe I shouldn't, but I went up to one of the Secret Service guys and I just said, "Hey, are you nervous with all these guns around?"
Oh, that's a great question. That's like standing in line to security at the airport and saying, "My gosh, I smell gunpowder." That's.
I don't have a filter sometimes.
No, Steve, that's okay.
I speak my mind. But.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. Another issue that comes up a lot are the social conservative issues. Where do you find yourself standing on the issues of the protection of traditional marriage and abortion?
I believe that abortion should not be used as birth control. I believe that if in the unfortunate cases of incest, I support it. Rape, I support it. And if a woman's life is in danger, I support it. Other than that, I don't support it. I have 5 kids.
Wow. Well, then obviously you practice what you preach. It sounds to me like you've endangered your wife on a number of occasions.
I've got 4 girls, and I finally got a boy.
Good for you.
Yeah, he's 7 months now. So
good for you. Well, congratulations. So the aspect of traditional marriage, and not that these are deciding factors in any race, but a lot of people care about them because it kind of defines their core values. Where are you on the protection of marriage as far as the traditional marriage?
I don't think that it's the United States government's job to worry about things like that.
I think it is a
state issue. But personally, as a heterosexual, I'm in favor of heterosexual marriages. But
ladies and gentlemen, we finally outed Steve Nohrden as a heterosexual, by the way. The 5 kids didn't speak for themselves.
It's on Facebook already.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook. Thank you, young David. Well, and now the world knows. They thought the 5 kids was just a mask for an alternate lifestyle. The hot button issue has been around for the last 2-3 weeks in particular because of Arizona. Where are you on immigration and immigration reform? And we've got a couple minutes left. You can shoot that horse right now.
Let's get back to common sense and let's do some things that make sense. McCain, came up with a good idea, and I'll ride on that train with him. I think we should put our National Guard down there and have them doing training exercises continuously around the clock. The military has the most advanced technology to detect, the slightest motion. You try to get to Area 51, they'll catch a mouse trying to get in there. So let's do the same thing. Our Border Patrol, they don't have that type of technology. I don't think that when you've got soldiers drilling on our borders, I don't think you're going to get too many drug cartel and immigrants trying to cross the border.
Well, no, you bring up a great point, and even at even outside San Diego at Pendleton, the Marine camp, there's not a whole lot of people coming on shore at Camp Pendleton for immigration purposes. First of all, they probably hit a mine, but I think that's a great point. What do you do with the people who are here right now in the country that are here illegally?
You do your best to round them up, and you deport them.
Do you believe that if the federal government isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that's not to say if you got elected you would help change that, but to this point they haven't really done what they've needed to do as far as immigration reform is concerned, should states be able to take it upon themselves to defend themselves until the federal government figures out, gets their act together?
I kind of have a different look on that. I think that the states should do whatever it takes to wake up the United States government to do their job. And I think that's what Arizona has done. And President Barack Obama has said he'll tackle this issue after the November elections.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah.
It's just, that amazes me, that he actually even says that. He's like, if I tackle this now, we may lose a lot of our Democrats.
And a lot of things wrong, I believe, with Barack Obama. But every once in a while, he trips into a candid, into a candid statement, and he said something terribly unpolitical that that I give him credit for at least being honest about. We're just about out of time. Time for the shameless promotion for your race. You got a website? You got a phone number you want people to contact you on?
Yeah, please go to my website, which is firetitus.com, and my phone numbers are there. My emails are there. I think that I'm the only candidate qualified to turn our housing market around, which will help kickstart our economy.
Great. Hey, thanks for being with us. And you make it past the big date on June 8th. We'll love to have you back.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steve.
Super. We've been talking with Steve Nohrden, who's a Republican candidate for the position of that'd be Congressional District Number 3, running against Tina Titus here on Steve Wark in the Morning.